you. Thank you so much for being here with us again on the podcast. This is your boy, your men's life coach, Rolando. It is a Monday. It's Motivation Monday. We hope that you guys all had a wonderful weekend. And we also hope that you were able to challenge yourself this past weekend to do something new, something different, something for self improvement and self growth. We want to take the time to say thank you again to all our new subscribers, those who continue to be new subscribers to our TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, and even those who have been listening to our podcasts. We want to say a shout out to you. We see you, we acknowledge you, and we appreciate you. We continue to encourage all the men to remember that this is the XY Spark podcast, the podcast for men, where we seek to normalize conversations about men's mental health. We know that by so doing, we will break the stamina of the stigma about men's mental health. We just want to reiterate that we are not promoting misogyny in any way, but we are here to say we want more men to understand that they are valuable, they are important, they have worth, and you mean something to somebody. So today, being Motivation Monday, it's a freestyle day, and I just want to chat with the men a little bit about self growth and self improvement. So, listen to me, guys. Wherever you are and whatever you are doing, I want you to pause right now and just key into what I'm about to say. I've learned and I've noticed over the years that more and more men seem to be struggling with asking for help. More and more men seem to be struggling with talking about their emotions, talking about how they feel, talk about what's going on. The easy way out for us as men is to say we're okay. The easy way out for us to men is to deny the reality of what we are going through. The easy way for us as men is to harm ourselves or to bottle things up. And as we do that, it becomes easier and it becomes our default mode. If we are going to grow and if we're going to improve and we if we are going to become better as men, we've got to learn how to talk through these tough conversations. We've got to learn how to work out these difficult emotions. We've got to learn that there's no shame or there is no sense of losing yourself as a man if you come out of your comfort zone and admit that this has now become my reality. I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm overwhelmed, I'm procrastinating more than not, and I'm just continually sinking into the depths of my self destructive and irrational thinking habits. And guys, morning manna this morning, being Motivation Monday, is just to make a special appeal to all the men and boys, young men out there. You could be a teenager, you could be in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, I don't know. I'm saying let us get together as men and create a tribe of men who are changing the meaning of weakness. It's time for us as men to change the meaning of weakness because the way that weakness was interpreted or the way that weakness was demonstrated to us, it was wrong. It was destructive. And that's why now, as men, we have grown up in an environment or in a community that causes us to believe that if I talk about feelings, if I talk about If I admit or talk about anything emotional, or if I expose my vulnerabilities in public, then I'm not man enough. I'm weak. I'm not fit to be a part of the pack. And I just want to say that if you notice, guys, sometimes some of these packs of groups of men who put forth this front all the time, they're the loudest in the room. They seem to be the most liked. They seem to be the guy on the team who everyone wants to sort of huddle up around, like, they are the king of the pack. Notice sometimes some of these guys, they are as empty on the inside as you can imagine. So they're doing these things. They're being bullies. They are being the loudest. They're putting forth this front because they are trying to hide their own securities. And what I'm saying to us as men is that men have to start learning to talk about feelings. One of my listeners here on TikTok says, "Hey, I am scared to talk about my feelings because I did tell people about my feelings and they use it on me." And you know something? I'm going to say this to you. Any man out there, if you have talked to people about your feelings and they've used it against you, it's because they themselves are not mature enough to appreciate you for who you are. So when you talk to people about your feelings and they use it against you, it's because they themselves do not know any better, and they themselves, with all good intent, are not recognizing that they are hurting and harming you. And that's why I say to men, seek to find safe spaces and people who are professionally trained to talk with them about how you feel. People who will not judge you, people who will not look at you as weak, people who will not think you're failing or you're not matching up to the masculine code. But as men, we have to learn more how to talk about those feelings. If you're in a relationship, it could be with somebody that you thought was your soulmate. If they are not seeking to create a safe space for you to talk about feelings, then you need to revisit the foundations of that relationship, because every relationship needs to have a safe space where you're able to talk about feelings. Sometimes you might not be in a relationship, all right, but you may be in a home where your mom, your dad, your caregiver, you may be in a foster home. I don't know what your situation is, but if you're not able to talk about feelings there, you need to reach out in the community and seek to find a safe space where you can talk about those feelings and talk about those emotions. Because no one should be judged harshly because they talk about how they are feeling. Why? Because your number one responsibility on the planet and my number one responsibility on the planet is not to try so hard to be the best psychologist or to be the best husband or to be the best son or to be the best employer, to be the best lawyer, or to be the wealthiest guy in the room. Your number one responsibility is to remember that you need to give yourself permission to be human. And being human means it's okay to feel. Being human, guys, means it's okay to ask for help. Being human means that you're not always going to get it right, which means you're going to make some mistakes. Being human means coming to grips with the reality that I don't have all the answers, and I'm totally okay with seeking to get all the answers. Being human means being okay to ask for help. And I'm saying to all the men who are listening here and all the women who are listening that you have got to start encouraging your sons, your brothers, your grandfathers, your dads, your co-workers, your partners. You've got to start encouraging them to seek to get help professionally. Why? Because that is what it takes. My listener says here, being human is being able to speak out for people 100%. And do you know that it's great to speak out for people, but we've got to remember that it's also even greater to speak out for ourselves, which means taking time to reflect and be aware of what it is that you are going to need in order to be the best version of yourself right now. So, guys, it's so important for us as men for us to learn how to navigate our way through so many different layers. We have to learn to navigate our way through societal expectations. We've got to learn to navigate our way through cultural norms. We've got to learn to navigate our way through some of the things that we were taught as foundational principles of what it means to be a man. We've got to learn to navigate our way through toxic relationships. We've got to learn to navigate our way through irrational thinking patterns. We've got to learn to navigate our way through trauma and grief and loss. We've got to learn to navigate our way through adult onset of trauma so that we can heal and so that we can grow. And listen, guys, what I'm talking about right now is creating a new tribe of men who are confident and comfortable to be human. You see, guys, personal growth and development is not an event, it is a lifestyle. And embracing this lifestyle means breaking out of the cycles of our comfort zone, of our preferences, so that we can heal and evolve into becoming the best version of ourselves. We need more men now who are confident and comfortable in saying, I don't have all the answers. We need more men and boys and youth. We need more teenagers who are okay to talk about their feelings and own it and not be ashamed of it. And we need more of our young boys, our teenage boys. You're in high school, we need more of our boys to stop bullying and stop making other young men feel uncomfortable because you're using yourself as the measuring tool for what a man should be like. You see, what we're talking about here is creating a tribe of changed men and boys in the community. Boys who are comfortable to say, hey, dude, listen, man, if you're struggling, don't worry. I got you. Let's go chat to somebody. We need more men, more boys in high school who are creating tribes and they're saying, hey, we as men over here, we're not ashamed, all right, or afraid to confront the stigma of mental health. Listen, guys, this is such a powerful way. This is just a powerful shift in the norm as we move out of this place of fear into a place of confidence, into a place where we are more and more empowered, where we are more and more certain of who we are and why we are. You see, the reality of it is this, guys, is that as men, we have to start placing more value on ourselves. As men, we've got to start challenging more and more of the status quo. We've got to start challenging more and more this idea that was placed in our minds, whether it is by someone whom we thought was a good example. So that means, guys, that we've got to start challenging what we were told or what we saw. Challenge what we were told by your dad, by your uncle, by your coach, by your mentor. Challenge it, right? Because the big thing is this is every man has a right to be okay with talking about how he feels. So what I'm doing right here right now this morning To every man that's listening, you may be listening live here on YouTube, you may be live on TikTok, you may be live on the podcast. Right now, I am saying this to you. I am giving you permission to recognize that it's okay to feel. I am giving you permission to recognize that it's okay to not have all the answers. I am giving you permission to let you know that right now, in this moment, it's your time to heal. It's your time to recover. It's your time to grow. It's your time to start creating a new mindset and a new perspective that's going to help you to move out of mediocrity into something that's new and refreshing and healthy. That's what I'm saying. Because remember, guys, and I say to you that mindset breaks a man or makes a man. And if you are in that space where you find that your mind is saturated with all the negatives and the what ifs and the irrational thinking patterns, you need to start getting more active. Change your associations. By changing your associations, you will change your perspectives. By changing your perspectives, you will change your worldview. When you change your worldview, you will change the way you approach challenges. And when you change the way you approach challenges, you will learn to adapt more to unpredictable circumstances, and it will change your life. And yes, for today, go and remember this quote that mindset makes a man or breaks a man. And as you seek to nurture and create the right mindset, I'm going to tell you this, guys. I'm going to tell you right now, creating the right mindset is not something that's going to happen automatic. You have to be committed. You have to be connected. You have to be conscious. And you've got to keep going. You've got to be what? Committed. You've got to be connected. You've got to be conscious. And you've got to keep going. That's how you break cycles to create the mindset of a man who's a champion. Listen, guys, I am excited to hear some of your testimonials here. You can go to my YouTube channel and subscribe and just type there. You can type here in the chat. You can go to our podcast at xyspark.podbean.com. We're also on Spotify. We're on iTunes. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're all over. Join us. Thank you for being here today. I see one of my live fans. Great to see you again. I hope you have a great week. All right, it's amazing. This is one of my super fans. Believe it. This fan joins the live most mornings before he goes to school. What a powerful example of commitment. So thank you, Rez, for your commitment and always being here. And I'm waiting for that day, Reds, when I can find a tribe of men who are as committed as you. Because here's a young man who he continues to demonstrate commitment, and he shows up. He shows up most mornings before he goes to school. So great to have you. Have a great day, and you be safe out there, buddy. Right? So as we wrap up our podcast for today, I just want to remind you guys that the XY Spark podcast is a podcast for men. And this is your men's life coach, Rolando. Thank you for joining us for another one of our episodes. We will be here again tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, where we will continue our conversations about men's mental health, because we know that mental health is not a myth. And our goal is to continually have these conversations as we seek to break the stamina of the stigma about men's mental health. In the meantime, you guys keep safe and you be good. And never forget, always remember that at XY Spark, we believe that there is a spark in you, and we will see you again next time. Have a great day.